What if I told you that you spent your whole life looking for happiness in the wrong place? Have you ever felt that happiness is something that's always just around the corner but never quite arrives? Like it's a prize reserved for other people, for those who have their lives all figured out. Today, I'm going to tell you something that could change the way you look at life. Happiness isn't found, it's built. And it's built from within. Today, I'm going to tell you a secret that, if you understand it with your head and your heart, will change the way you live. And if you stay until the end, you'll discover how to change the way you see your life, even without changing anything in your life. And that will be your real power. We were taught that happiness lies in what happens on the outside, that people notice you, that they value you, that they love you, that they choose you, that you get a message, an invitation, recognition, that you have money. We live waiting for external signs, and when they don't come, we feel that something is missing. But what if the real void is something else? And what if the problem isn't what's happening on the outside, but what you're failing to see on the inside? In this video, for the first time, I'm going to talk about myself. But that's because the story I'm going to tell you, something that happened to me, involves three situations that, beyond theories, studies, and words, showed me in practice that I am the one who decides my happiness. The first one was a while ago, when for a period of time I had to drive 45 minutes to work at a psychiatric institution. Every time I had to go, I would start dreading it the day before. Not because of the place, although it was sad, but because of the commute, the distance, the routine, the traffic, the discomfort. I wasn't used to traveling that far. I usually went to places that were always much closer, and it was incredible how something so mundane could ruin my mood like that. Until one day, I got tired of feeling that way, and I asked myself, am I really suffering over driving 45 minutes in a comfortable car, listening to music, seeing the sky and the sun, breathing fresh air? When there are people who travel 2 hours standing on a bus to get to work, when there are people who spend 9 hours in an office doing jobs they don't like, or people lifting sacks at the docks, can this really make me so bitter? That day, something clicked, and I decided to enjoy the drive. I rolled down the window, put on music, felt the breeze on my face and the sunlight, and I connected with the beautiful things about the trip. I enjoyed it as if it were a privilege to be there driving, connected with myself. It was a shock because that very day I understood something as simple as it was profound, that happiness depended on my perspective, the same thing that made me bitter. Before, I had been able to enjoy it, and it was incredible because nothing had changed, but it completely opened my mind. I realized that the same situation had changed 100% just because of my perspective and my attitude. That was a shock. Sometime later, something else happened that also made something click for me. My husband and I moved to a coastal town over a year ago, and one autumn morning we went to the beach. The sea was silvery, beautiful, shining from the sun that tinted it silver. I had never seen that before. My husband and I were standing next to each other on the sand, looking at the sea. And I said, "Oh, look at that sea. It's incredible." And my husband said, "Look how ugly the sand is, all packed down." I was stunned. His words hit me because we were both standing in the same place, looking at the same thing. And where I saw beauty and felt happiness, he saw something annoying. And my mind clicked again. And in that moment, I thought, wow, happiness is a filter that each of us chooses whether or not to use. Because it was a powerful demonstration that it doesn't matter what happens in life or where we are. What matters is how we look at it, how we value it. And that's personal. We decide that for ourselves. Faced with the same situation in the same place, he had a feeling of displeasure looking at the sand, and I had a feeling of total happiness looking at the sea. I hadn't even noticed the sand. I was just looking at that beautiful silvery sea in front of me. And that's when I realized that it's our own perspective that creates happiness. You can see the positive or you can see the negative. And we're the ones who decide that. It's not what happens, it's what you decide to see. And I want to close with the third moment when I experienced that valuing what we have and being happy for it weren't just cliches or empty words. The first day I arrived at the place where I live now, I twisted my ankle and broke my metatarsal. Clinic, a cast, and a month and a half without walking, a wheelchair for outside, which my husband pushed, and an office chair with wheels for inside, which became my legs. I depended on people to push me, to help me, to get things for me, for my husband to finish work so I could finally go out. A few months later, I took a course on emotional intelligence, and one of the questions they asked us was, "What's the first thing you feel when you wake up?" And I impulsively said, "Happiness." Happiness because I can walk, because I can get out of bed and walk. And I'm so grateful for that, which I used to take for granted. And that's when I understood it in a huge way. I realized that happiness is in the things we take for granted until we lose them, in being able to put your feet on the floor, in being able to walk on the beach. For a long time, after they took off my cast and I started walking, I would wake up with that feeling of happiness. I felt I can get out of bed. I'm happy. Then, of course, I started to forget it because it happens to us, right? We start taking for granted the things that are natural for us, and we forget what a privilege they are. That's why every now and then I try to remind myself, because obviously I don't wake up like that anymore, but I try to remember it. I try to remember the happiness of walking on the beach, of opening a door without help, of moving around on your own. Such small things that we don't even notice until one day they're gone. That's why I can assure you that happiness isn't outside, it's inside you. It's in your perspective, in your way of interpreting the world. Happiness is in feeling the sun on your skin, the breeze when you open a window, a simple breakfast, a chat with someone you love, a quiet walk, the smell of freshly brewed coffee, knowing that the people you love are okay, seeing the silvery sea, lying down to watch a show with a tasty snack, listening to music that connects with you. Happiness is an exercise, a decision, a training of the soul. And to feel it, you have to enjoy all those moments instead of just going through them automatically. Happiness isn't an event, it's a habit, it's a discipline of the soul. It doesn't appear when everything's perfect. It appears when you decide to look at what is right, even if everything around you is chaos. When you choose to be grateful, when you choose to enjoy, when you choose to connect with what you already have. That's the difference. That's the click. Happiness is practiced, it's trained, it's decided. And when you do it, even for just an instant, you'll feel it. That little spark, that warmth in your chest, that today I'm okay. This little thing that I like, that I can enjoy, that doesn't come from the world. That comes from you. So today I invite you to try something. Look for just one beautiful detail, just one. The sun, a sound, a caress of the wind, something you like, and experience it with happiness. Go outside, feel the sun, feel the air. Look at something beautiful, even if it's tiny, and let yourself be affected by it. It could even be the color of a car that catches your eye. Because the day you start to look at life differently, life starts to feel different. Don't wait for anything from the outside to be happy. Don't wait for something to happen. Don't wait for someone to do something. Happiness comes from within, and it begins when you decide to feel it. I hope you like my videos and that they can help you, maybe by showing you things from a different perspective, or simply making you feel accompanied, understood, or even just seen. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. And if there's any topic you'd like us to cover in future videos, let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening.